All right, so in the last video, I already touched on the fact that we got some pretty significant water damage on the side of the camper. So I'll bring you around here and show you that. It's sort of a stack up of what looks like maybe 3, and I just touched some good old-fashioned mold there. Gotta love it. But yeah, it's like a stack up of, I think, 3 sheets of plywood, at least in the galley area. The innermost is like a nice, like polished Baltic birch. So certainly gonna have to source a piece of that. But it's all just completely rotted. Mold, you can just jab a screwdriver in there and it's no bueno. And since the last video, when I just did a quick walkthrough, I've pulled off more trim. So I got the whole trim piece off from around the perimeter. I've popped the door off. I'm getting ready to take the whole door sill out, I guess, because the plan is to pull off the entire aluminum skin, so that way I've got good visibility to exactly the extent of the damage. Fortunately, I believe it ends about right here. I was able to pull this sheet back enough. In fact, here I can kind of look in there. You can see, at least up here at the top, it looks like the water damage ends here. And there's even a chance, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what we see when we get the skin panel off. My initial thoughts were pretty much do a buzz cut straight up and down where maybe a couple inches forward of where the damage ends. And then since it's a layered plywood setup, I was thinking about, you know, coming back maybe another 1.5 foot or so just on the front layer of plywood. And then what I rebuild would then extend an additional 1.5 foot or whatever over that front ledge to essentially get a half lap joint. And then, like I touched on, I'm going to be redoing all of the sealant across the entire camper. It just makes sense. We know it's gotten a leak, primarily up in this corner. That's obvious. That's definitely the main ingress point of water. I also believe that, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a hole all the way through right there. We've gotten some water damage here, and that point perfectly lines up with right here where I can also see there's been some water. Could have come down from here, sure, I don't know, but certainly got some stuff to figure out. But right now, I'm gonna work on taking this door sill out. I have no clue what all that entails. I know that there's a perimeter of screws around the outside. I've already popped, there's a little, I guess like a rain sill or something like that over the top of it. So I popped that off. So we're gonna get working on this. Don't exactly know how it's in there, but we're gonna find out together. Jackson was keeping me company earlier out here, while Mary and Atlas went for a walk. Now, admittedly, that lasted all of 4 minutes because Jackson started losing his shit. So then Jackson and I went on a walk.
It feels like sunshine the way that it warms up my cold heart.
Time for a needle. Also, in an effort to try to be as organized as possible, it's probably a little bit much, but all the screws and everything that I'm taking off, I'm putting into little baggies with labels. And my fat fingers have a hard time with little Ziploc bags. But I know I've done a lot of work on my cars, and when I first got started doing work on cars, I didn't do a whole lot of labeling. And you find out the hard way that it's easy to forget where certain pieces go. And so, like, for instance, I did a frame swap on my 98 4Runner. And I was super anal about having everything labeled, and even still, there was a couple screws that I got to the end, and they didn't have a home. Now, I'd like to think, you know, I'm an engineer. I like to think I was just more efficient than the engineers at Toyota. So that's what I've rolled with for the time being. And, you know, in how many years? 6 years since I did the frame swap. 5 years, 6 years. I haven't had anything fail because of it. So I'm rolling with it. But try to learn from our mistakes. So not only do I have all the little hardware baggies labeled, I've also all the trim pieces and everything that I've taken off, I've labeled where they go and their orientation. And I also took a bunch of photographs in the beginning, so I had good reference for what it needed to look like when I'm done and I get it all back together.
You gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love.
So here's what might have me a little concerned. I definitely, some nasty black stuff, could be mold. Then on the front, see some more nasty black stuff. Don't know if it's just old adhesive or what. Kind of looks like a little mold on the front end, which is not what I was hoping to see. So let me get this labeled and we'll try and pop that skin off. Now, I'm pretty sure if I take old trusty Rusty here and work around the perimeter. Oh, shit. Ah! I'll be back. I gotta go get a Band-Aid. In an effort now to not cut my hands again, got some gloves on. Because the edge of this panel is kind of sharp when you hit it with some force. Oh, that's
Well, it may seem ridiculous to you the way I do the things I do. So very sorry, friend, you got no box to put me in. And a tiger just can't go and change his stripes. I fooled you once, I fooled you twice, and I'ma do it again. Can't keep a fox out of chicken pen.
Oh, we're recording. Oh!
That might be nice. There's a seam. Now my guess is it's a half flat seam. So my guess is the piece behind it is solid there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a piece of plywood on the outside, looks like about 3/4. And then this actually looks like a vertical strut, or not strut, but like stud rather. Like that looks like pine. And then there's the inside trim. So if that's the case, it might only, yeah, but then you come back here and it's like, well, it's shit. It's hard to even make out what we're looking at here. So here's, all right, to the right of that screwdriver is the piece of 3/4. And then on the inside here, looks like it's probably this piece of Baltic birch. And then this in the middle looks like maybe a piece of 1/2-inch plywood right there. But wondering where that transition happens. It could be here. Ugh. So yeah, honestly, damage looks like it's not even all the way to this piece, but if I can easily separate this piece from this segment back, pop that off somehow. That's probably where I'm gonna stop tonight, but I'll probably pick up the video again tomorrow or the next day that I get back into it. We'll see how it goes. But if I don't end up picking up this video, appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. It'll help me out a bunch. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. All right, we are back at it. Got a beautiful day outside, so I figured, hey, let's get working on the camper a little bit. Don't exactly know if I'm gonna make it today, but I did finally put up a little storage rack essentially up there for all the trim pieces that I had taken off because my nearest workbench was getting cluttered. So, can't remember where I left it the last time, but we've got the whole skin side pulled off, all the trim that goes all the way around it. I know that pretty much from this point back has been water damaged and is not good anymore. And pretty much from here forward is good and untouched. So that's pretty much the bulk of the damage. So I already undid all the fasteners and the sealant holding this hinge on. So my neighbor popped over, so he's gonna help me get the whole rear hatch pulled off, because if I would have cut this wood out, if I would have cut all this wood out, it would have been not stable and probably would have damaged the hatch. So we're gonna get that pulled off and then take a look at it and get as good of a plan together as we can, and then probably buzz this. Okay, so of course I turned the video camera on and I didn't have it pointed in the right direction, so my bad. But my neighbor Dusty came down, we got the rear hatch off, so that's a good first step. He and I were talking through it, and I was planning on just popping the wheel and tire off and then trying to cut up here some and then below and then figure out in between, but these are honestly not welded on here all that great. There's essentially just like a 3/4 inch weld on each side, so even they're designed so that like you can stand on them, but even when I stand on them, they flex a little bit. So I'm probably just gonna end up redoing those anyway. I don't know if I'm gonna add some gussets or what the plan is, but in order to make it easier to get this all off, I'm just gonna cut those grinds real quick, and then that way the whole fender will come off and I'll have a lot clearer access. Still gonna need to jack it up and pull the wheel and tire off so I can still get a full cut line there, but that's our plan. Let's get to it. All right. Also pretty excited, Home Depot just had a deal. I've got angle grinders and tools, but cordless is always nice. So they had a deal recently where I got a couple free tools. So, well, you buy some batteries, you get some free tools, whatever. But, got a new cordless angle grinder. There we go. She's solid. Oh wow. And this is why you always want to check stuff. So I've not had this off yet, but this nut, you can see, is completely loose. I don't know if you can hear that, but that hub's rocking. So good thing, part of the service I was planning on doing on this was repacking the grease in all these bearings. Well, not all of them, both of them. But repack the grease in those, and then we'll get that cinched down and torqued properly, because that's not good. And I can guarantee you the other side's probably the same. That's why we check. There we go. That's all.
Well, I gave you all my love and I gave you all my trust and I gave you everything that you need.
is insulation. Cool. All right. So we've just got this ring frame. And essentially, obviously, I need to cut out pretty much from here down because it's been damaged. But before I do that, I need to figure out a plan for how I'm going to then reinstall the new piece. I think what I'm going to likely do is pop off this ring because it's about to come off anyway. I'll figure out my cut, I'll make that cut, and then I'll evaluate this piece because it's honestly not bad. This is all very solid. Yes, it's had some exposure to water, but I don't know how bad it is. We might be able to get by with just leaving this inner piece. And in all likelihood, in this whole resto project, whatever you want to call it, I'm probably going to end up painting the inside of this. The wood color's nice, but I think it would kind of modernize it a bit if we painted it. Maybe. I don't know. Drop your comments down in the comment section below and let me know if you think that would be a good idea or a bad idea. You like the wood look. I'm not sold either way, but what it would do is it would cover up the wood damage, I guess, visually. But again, I'm not going to leave bad wood in here. So if I get this ring piece off and I discover that this is toast, we'll replace it. But because this single piece extends forward into the sleeping area, I would really rather not cut and replace it. So we'll just have to see. The last thing that I really need to figure out is how I'm going to reattach my piece that I cut off here. So for the same concept as up here, I can't in good conscience or confidence just do a butt joint. Is it going to be an issue if I did it? Probably not, but I want this to be as strong, if not stronger, than when Escapod built this from the factory. So we're going to have to see. Maybe it just means a butt joint with glue and I run pocket hole screws into it. That's where we're at for right now. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'm learning as I go, and I'm sure some of you are sitting there screaming to yourselves as to how I'm going about this. Hopefully not. I'm just trying to figure it out. Again, I'm pretty handy, but working on campers is a new thing to me. But I think we'll get it done. All right, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, it would mean a lot to me if you would drop a like, subscribe. That would be super helpful to me. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.